Obama slams dropping of Michael Flynn case, calls White House COVID-19 response absolute chaotic disaster. It would have been bad even with the best of governments. It has been an absolute chaotic disaster when that mindset, of what's in it for me and to heck with everybody else, when that mindset is operationalized in our government. Ain't that the truth? Obama faces scrutiny after released declassified documents showing that he knew about Flynn's intercepted phone calls in late 2016 and revealed his knowledge of them during an Oval Office meeting on Jan. 5, 2017, before Flynn's interview with FBI agents, according to Fox News. WTF is there to scrutinize about this? Let me just get this straight. The Trump administration tried to pretend that an anti-malaria drug was the cure for a global pandemic, tried to corner the world's supply of this drug, then tried to sell it to Americans as the COVID cure during daily press briefings featuring Birx and Fauci. That's what the President of the United States did. I just want to point out that former sitting presidents generally don't sling shit at the current president, and when they do they tend to be a little circumspect with their language and say banal things like it's a tough job. They'll criticize policy, and they will sometimes come back and give rousing speeches at the convention, or give praises to whoever gets the next nomination from their party, but not this. Even Bush 2 and Carter have been talking mad shit. It's really been something. Just wanted to point out that in my 40Y memory I can't think of a single time where any former presidents went this hard at the sitting one, and this is all of them now. Yes, I am aware that this was from a recording of a private convo. Yes, I am aware that other former presidents have said things critical of current administrations, just never this many, to this degree and this often. No, Bush 2 wasn't worse or equally bad IMO. Bush never corrupted every branch and institution of the executive office, undermined the Fourth Estate, brazenly flouted the rule of law or any of the other horrid self-serving, incredibly divisive garbage Trump does on a daily basis. Did Bush ever incite armed protests? Defend racists? Personally steal hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayers' money? How about ruin just about every international relationship we had? The list is long. Bush was pretty shitty, but he wasn't Trump, not by a long stretch. Stop telling me he was, you will never convince me otherwise, LOL. On charges against Flynn being dropped. That's the kind of stuff where you begin to get worried that basic, not just institutional norms, but our basic understanding of rule of law is at risk. And when you start moving in those directions, it can accelerate pretty quickly, as we've seen in other places. Make no mistake. The US under Trump and co is rapidly moving towards all-out fascism. Just yesterday we celebrated the defeat of fascism in Europe 75 years ago. Now it's manifesting itself again only in the US. How many will die to eradicate fascism this time? Wake the fuck up, America. Asterisk, if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. The wolf was let into the henhouse, and now they have and are continuing to make the entire country pay for it with lives and money. The WH under L Orange is an unmitigated disgrace. The hilarious part is he is showing you his disdain for all of us. He believes he is the lord of the manor, and we all, both parties, are his feudal serfs serving on his feudal manor. He does not care if anyone lives or dies, thrives or starves, rots from a health issue or is exploited via labor. He has disgraced our own military, so the list goes on. King Trump will care for no one outside of his oligarch peer group. Let's try to be America again and be the United States again. I'm from Australia. During the middle of the worst bushfires in modern history, our PM decided to go on a holiday to Hawaii. That guy managed to not fuck this up. I want you to think about that. He was being an idiot. The state governments and his own medical staff and economists told him he didn't know what he was talking about, and he pulled his head in, as Australians put it, and acted like a grown-up when it was needed. This isn't easy, but it's not as hard as Trump makes it out to be. He said that he would be doing as much as he could to help former Vice President Joe Biden get elected, because what we're fighting against is these long-term trends in which being selfish, being tribal, being divided, and seeing others as an enemy, that has become a stronger impulse in American life. My great fear is that a Biden administration will make the same mistake that the Obama administration made early on, bending over backward to compromise with a party that is currently stonewalling legislation to fight against a foreign power actively interfering in our elections. That's not a conservative vs. liberal thing, these are actions intended to undermine representative democracy. There is no compromise or inclusion necessary when that is the opposition. We can worry about mending polarized rifts in our society, which will take a long time, once we safeguard and protect our democratic institutions and processes right now. And for God's sake, pursue and prosecute people who have broken the law. The idea that we need to look forward and not get caught up in petty political retribution is insane. The next progressive administration will be called an authoritarian regime whether they investigate and prosecute the guilty or not. Business as usual. Fail a business and bail out of it, except this time it's a nation and people are dying instead of losing just their corporate job. God, I miss Obama. This absolutely BS. Remember what the first judge said to Flynn? He called him a traitor and treasonous. Now, BC he's friends with Trump, a new precedent is set where a guilty plea is ignored and forgotten. Fuck this new democracy he's created. Remember when the Ebola outbreak happened and Fox/right-wing shit their pants for months because they thought Obama was going to let everyone get infected? There was, I believe, a total of 11 cases in that outbreak in the US. Back in 2014 Trump lost his shit as Ebola ravaged the nation and killed exactly 0 Americans. Can you imagine what he'd be doing if Pres. Clinton allowed even one person to die of the coronavirus? That's not slamming, that's a fucking fact that middle schoolers should be pointing out. Jesus. Edit, grammar. Can we assume Roger Stone will be next? Remember a time when there were rational people working in government that worked for the betterment of all Americans, regardless of party? To think that ended only 3.5 years ago. I miss Obama. Can you really take somebody seriously, when they wear a tan suit and put Dijon mustard on a burger? First time since Trump's presidency where he's been this critical and outspoken towards the administration. This should cut Trump deep and hurt Littlefinger's already broken ego. The last true president of the United States. Trump did not get a lot of advice from Obama. One thing Obama went out of his way to say. Do not hire Michael Flynn. I hope Biden wins and puts Sanders and Obama on staff as senior advisors. God, I wish he was in office right now. The He-Man plead guilty, how do you just drop it? News headlines have more slams than the WWE. Thanks for dropping some truth. I honestly forget what it sounds like with Trump in charge. I see all of Trump's Ruskibots are in here full bore. I miss this real president, not the president Twitter snowflake we have in office right now. Finally. Thank you for coming back in this Obama. Trump supporters, oh look, there's a story about Obama. Now we finally have a chance to attack instead of watching our dear leader make an idiot of himself day after day. Remember having a competent president like Obama. Obama says one thing about Trump and the mega losers' heads explode. It's hilarious. True biz. That article is a nightmare to read with all the ads though.